We're in the blind this morning, last day of October, hunting a buck that I hunted late season last year. Had a really close call with him, saw him multiple times out in the food plot, but just couldn't get it done. Big, heavy bases, heavy antlers, old, mature Iowa buck. We put this blind down in this food plot for him the other day. It's such an awesome food plot to kill big, mature bucks. I mean, literally all the big bucks on this side of the farm come past this scrape. I'm really excited for where this blind's at. I think it's going to be a really productive spot for us. Yes, another doe down. That's number 7 for the year. That worked out perfect. She came right past it, 22 yards.
Awesome to get another doe down. She only made it 20 yards and then rolled back down the hill. Super quick, clean kill. And man, the weather today is phenomenal. November is right around the corner. I can't wait to get back after it.
The calendar is a flip to November, whitetail hunters' favorite time of the year. Bucks this morning, including a really nice up-and-comer. We're thinking is a 4-year-old, really cool looking 10. Sitting on a new ridge in the timber this morning. I was in here shed hunting and found a match set to a buck we call Hurricane. I actually saw Hurricane last year, right before I shot my buck in this same patch of timber, so he's definitely in this area quite a bit. We actually haven't had pictures of him at all this year, which is a real bummer, but you never know. He might have been moving in a different area, and maybe he'll come back in here in the rut. So it's a lot of different mature bucks in here last year. None of them are on camera this year, but I know a lot of them made it through the season, so if they made it through EHD, hopefully they're running around here somewhere and might come on cruising through today. was amazing. He came right in instantly. That's a buck that we called Norton, and I believe he's he's 5 years old, which is kind of crazy to think I just passed a 5-year-old 10 point at 8 yards, but just not quite the buck I'm looking for. Really cool deer. He's been running this farm. He's the only mature buck that we consistently have on camera here. Man, he just heard that rattling and came in literally straight to the tree. That's what it's all about. November 6th, rut activity like that is what you dream of. And man, his tarsal glands on his hind legs were just dripping in black. And just a rutted up whitetail buck. That's so cool. I'm in a pretty unique spot this evening, a really tiny tree. There's just this little clump of trees next to this food plot. It's the only ones I can get in, but I'm sitting over a soybean plot. I've got the decoy out in front of me. There's a lot of different deer around here, and I haven't hunted this part of the farm, so I'm excited to see what comes out tonight.
Might regret passing that deer.
comes another buck.
What an unbelievable hunt. I saw probably over 20 deer, decoyed those 2 big mature bucks in. Man, that first one, he was an absolutely beautiful deer, and I was debating on whether I wanted to shoot him. I knew he was around the area, and he definitely looks bigger in person than he did in the trail cam photos, but you know, he was just right on that line for me, and I was just happy to take some epic footage and get some really awesome photos. After I passed him and he went over to the left, he got in there with the sun, and the sun was hitting him just right. It was just absolutely beautiful. And you know, I may regret not shooting that deer if I don't have one down in the next couple weeks or by the end of November, but that's just how hunting goes. I just decided to pass him for tonight. Absolutely amazing deer, and for me it's not all about the kill, it's just about the experience, and I got an amazing experience from passing that deer and all the interaction he had with all the other deer and chasing does around and grunting and snort wheezing and working scrapes and all the other things he did over the last probably hour and a half after that decoy interaction. So that's what it's all about for me. I absolutely love, you know, putting them on the ground, but sometimes the experience is just worth it. That 10-point came pass later, came into the decoy too, just, man, both mature bucks coming right into the decoy, 25 yards. That's literally as good as it gets. It's perfect. It worked out awesome, and none of the deer really spooked too bad from the decoy, so just a phenomenal November hunt. I mean, what can you ask for more than that? Just, man, truly blessed to be able to experience something like that. November 6th, 3 mature bucks in range under 25 yards. That's just absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for hopefully another encounter like that soon.
There's a fawn right here at 20 yards, so I'm going to try to be really quiet. But I've done a lot of thinking on this deer over the past 24 hours. And I've honestly been really stressed out about passing this deer. I was so on the fence if I should shoot him or if I should pass him last night. And the fact that I'm really stressed out about it means that I probably should have shot him. I asked the Lord to give me guidance on whether I should go after him or not. And me being so stressed, I'm going to take that as a sign that I should probably keep trying to hunt this deer, even though I literally passed him at 25 yards yesterday. So I'm back in the same food plot. The wind switched completely. It was west yesterday. It's an east wind today, so I'm on the opposite side of the field, directly across from where I was last night. There's 4 fawns. Came out pretty early. They've been feeding for about half an hour now. You know, after thinking it over, the kind of the deciding factor, a couple of deciding factors that made me want to come back here is, honestly, there's only one buck really that I'm after at all. That's, I mean, he's a little bit bigger, but not a lot bigger than this one. And he's that other one on the other farm that I've been hunting, that other 8 with the split brow. And I haven't had any pictures of him for a week. So the fact that that deer really isn't very consistent for me. And also there's been a fair amount of EHD. I found 12 or 13 different dead deer, most likely from EHD right next to water sources this summer and fall. And we've had a bunch of deer completely disappear off the trail cams in the past couple months for no good reason. So I think there's a lot more dead ones out there than I even realize. If he comes back out tonight, I'm gonna shoot him.
that Iowa tag filled. He had me shaking bad when he was coming in. Oh, it just worked out perfect. Smoked him at 35 yards. Thank you, Lord. Big old mature 8-point, and I'm blessed to be able to see him 2 nights in a row out of this food plot. And he came into range. Watched him all night for an hour and a half yesterday. And I was just honestly sick to my stomach all last night. I couldn't sleep hardly at all, and it just ate at me. It was almost like I made a bad shot or missed a deer. I just felt like I needed to, that was the one for me. I mean, God put him in front of me in perfect footage, perfect light, twice in a row. And it's my favorite day of the month, November 7th. Second Iowa buck down since I moved here. Big, old, mature 8-point with a little bit of trash. Just a pretty deer. Man, truly blessed to be a bow hunter. This time of year is just absolutely amazing. Phenomenal weather, phenomenal views, awesome deer action. And I'm tagged out in Iowa. And it feels really good, I'll be honest. Man, that shot felt perfect. I'm using the resistance release once again. If you watched my video from last year and the buck I shot in Iowa last year, I used it on that, and I've used it on all 7 does I've shot this year, and it's worked out awesome. I just absolutely love it for hunting. So let's get down and track this big boy and go get him. Yes. Arrow's completely soaked in blood, perfect double lung shot, and I know he fell over right inside the trees. Let's go get him. What an absolutely amazing mature whitetail buck. Just an absolutely gorgeous 8-point. Got a little bit of trash on the base here. Cool point coming off and little kicker on his G2 there. Just an absolute beast. The coloration on his head is just beautiful, of just your typical mature buck with the red cap and then gray face. I mean, that's just a sign, along with his big old body, of a super mature, old Iowa whitetail. And that's what I love hunting. I mean, just the last 2 evenings were picture perfect, and I can't thank the Lord enough for blessing me with this land to be able to hunt and these animals in great populations. And I mean, the weather the past couple days has been phenomenal. It's been warm, 77 yesterday. I think it hit 70 today. But these deer are just still rutting and still on their feet, still out here feeding in the soybean field. Just amazing. There's a lot of different reasons I love to hunt, and antler size is just one of them. And this beautiful 8-point rack with this sweeping tines coming in, his dark bases there. I mean, just a beautiful 8, and that's just so cool. But you know, the experience of this hunt and watching all these deer interact, and deer posturing to one another, posturing to the decoy yesterday, and just doing all sorts of rut activity is just so fun to watch. And to cap it all off with an absolutely beautiful 8-point like this, it's just, man, just incredible. Just incredible. Thank you, Jesus. Wow. Signs come in many forms, and this time a rare free evening on November 7th and a perfect wind for a hang and hunt setup led me to an amazing experience overlooking one of North America's most majestic, a mature Iowa whitetail. Aged at 7.5 years old, my oldest buck ever, and one that I'm beyond grateful to wrap my tag around.